This is a video for READ-5557. It's the case study tutoring plan that I created for Harper. Just a little bio information on Harper. She's a bright and energetic second grader. She lives with her mother and father and older brother. She enjoys playing outside with her friends and riding bikes. She's an animal lover, and she loves reading books, especially the series The Little House on the Prairie. She loves being in the classroom and being part of the accelerator reading program. We assessed Harper in 4 different areas: phonemic awareness, spelling inventory using Words Their Way, elementary inventory list, running records with comprehension questions, and then with a writing prompt. Harper did really well in the phonemic awareness inventory. She scored perfect scores on all of the skills except these 3. She had some trouble generating rhyme with the word love. She couldn't come up with something that rhymed with love. She had some trouble segmenting words into phonemes. The word skip gave her some trouble. And then when it came to dividing words into syllables, alligator gave her a little trouble. But I'm not extremely worried about her phonemic awareness skills. I think they're pretty much on track. With her spelling inventory, as I said, we did a Words Their Way elementary word list. And out of 25 words she attempted, she got 20 words correct, which gives her an 80% scoring. The words she missed were basically problems with advanced affixes and base root words. With the running record comprehension assessment, we performed 3 different running records with her. Now remember, Harper is in the 2nd grade, and her assessments were passages from grade levels 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It was surprising to me that Harper actually scored higher on the 4th grade passage than she did the 3rd grade passage. But you can see that her fluency ranges from 88% to 97%, and her words per minute range from 118 to 226. Her comprehension is a little low, and it's something we worked on in tutoring. This is an example of her writing prompt she did. You can see she has a few problems with misspelled words and some punctuation errors. Our tutoring sessions with Harper, we had 4 of those. The first one, we worked on decoding strategies. The second, we worked on reading comprehension and attention to detail. The third, we worked on writing with prompts. The 4th, we worked on story, retell, and recall. We based our tutoring plan on a book series from Stella Batts. It's about a little girl named Stella, and the book we used is Who's in Charge. And this is our first session that we had with Harper. As I said, it was based on decoding unfamiliar words. We worked on some strategies such as using context clues. Does that word make sense when you read it in a sentence? Read the sentence again and sound out the word, or break the word apart. We also worked on decoding skills as she was reading through the book, Who's in Charge? It's a chapter book. And so we read a couple chapters for the first session. And when she came up on an unfamiliar word, then she actually would use the decoding strategies we just had learned in order to try and sound out the word. And then part of our writing for this tutoring session, I pulled some strategic words from the upper elementary spelling inventory from Words Their Way, and we worked on that as well. She did really well with that. Our second tutoring session, we really were going to spend some time with attention to detail, In her running record, in one of the passages, she skipped a whole bunch of sentences. So I really wanted to spend some time making sure that she was able to resweep properly, and had some strategies for making sure she did that. So some of the strategies we talked about in our part 1 of the tutoring session was chunking a text and reading it all at the same time, in the same breath, using your finger to guide the text, and even using a text box. And you can see on the right, this is kind of an example of a makeshift text box I used. I made it out of construction paper. In the reading part of this tutoring session, we were keeping comprehension in mind, and making sure we were reading for meaning, and then we were making sure we were using our re-sweeping strategies. And for part 3 of this tutoring session, she answered some comprehension questions from the story. Our lesson 3, we were going to work on making sure we re-sweeped well, and while we were reading, so we would not miss any sentences. We were going to make sure we were using our decoding strategies, and we also gave her a prompt to write with during this time. The prompt was, because in the book, Who's in Charge, Stella is taking care of a friend's dog, and the dog gets loose. And so the writing prompt we gave Harper was, what would you do if you were babysitting a friend's dog and it got loose? So it was interesting to see her write about that. In our tutoring session 4, we really wanted to talk about story, retell, and recall. If you remember back from her assessment, she scored 2 of the passages were in a 50 percentile. And so we wanted to make sure that she was making sure she was reading for meaning, and she could retell the story once she got done. So part 1, we worked on story, recall, and retell. We were reading using attention to detail and decoding strategies, and then we actually had to write part of the story while she recalled from the story. Here's some references that I used during my tutoring with Harper, and that's it. Thank you very much. Have a great